What if I told you that the wealthiest 1% of people don't spend their first $10,000 the way you'd think? There's no Ferrari, no shopping spree, no lavish vacation. Instead, there's a strategy, a framework that's been quietly passed down through generations of wealthy families. It's called the Heritage Rule, and it fundamentally changes how money compounds into generational wealth. Let me break down exactly how the top 1% deploys their initial $10,000 and why this approach matters so much for your financial future. First, understand that wealthy people think differently about money from the very start. When most people get $10,000, they see an opportunity to consume. They see lifestyle upgrades and immediate gratification. But the wealthy see something entirely different. They see the foundation of an empire. They recognize that how they spend those first dollars will echo through decades of compound growth. The Heritage Rule operates on a simple but powerful principle: protect and multiply. It's about allocating your initial capital in ways that preserve and grow your wealth simultaneously. The very first allocation is education and knowledge. The top 1% typically dedicates between $1,000 and $2,000 of that initial $10,000 toward financial education, business courses, or professional certifications. This isn't about getting a degree. It's about acquiring skills that directly impact earning potential and investment decision-making. Why? Because knowledge compounds just like money does. A person who understands how markets work, how to read financial statements, and how to evaluate opportunities will consistently make better decisions than someone who doesn't. That education multiplies the effectiveness of every remaining dollar you invest. If you like the idea of learning how the wealthy actually think about money, please like this video. We dive into frameworks that most people never encounter in traditional education. The second major allocation is business infrastructure. The top 1% spend between $2,000 and $3,000 establishing the foundations for income generation. This might mean registering a business entity, getting a business credit card with cashback rewards, setting up accounting software, or launching a simple online presence. Notice what this isn't. It's not inventory or marketing spend. It's the skeleton that allows future money to flow more efficiently. A business credit card that offers cashback or points on all purchases becomes a money multiplication tool. Every dollar you spend on business expenses now earns rewards that you reinvest. Over 10 years, this compounds significantly. Business registration and proper accounting infrastructure protect your assets and make tax optimization possible. These structural elements seem boring, but they're how wealth actually gets built and protected. The third pillar is strategic investment. Between $3,000 and $4,000 goes into diversified investments, typically through a brokerage account or index funds. The wealthy don't try to pick individual stocks with this money. Instead, they establish a habit and a system. They're not trying to turn $10,000 into $100,000 overnight. They're establishing the discipline of consistent investment that compounds over decades. This is where the Heritage Rule really shines. A 25-year-old who invests $4,000 into a diversified portfolio earning 8% annually will have over $150,000 by age 65, assuming no additional contributions. But that's just the baseline. When you combine this with the income generation from the business infrastructure and the accelerated decision-making from education, the numbers become exponential. The fourth allocation is strategic networking and relationships. Between $1,000 and $1,500 goes toward building your professional network. This might mean attending industry conferences, joining mastermind groups, or investing in professional memberships. The wealthy understand that relationships are literally worth money. Your network is your net worth, as the saying goes. When you're surrounded by people who are also building wealth, you naturally elevate your own thinking. You discover opportunities you'd never find alone. You avoid costly mistakes because others have already made them. These connections often lead to partnerships, joint ventures, or information that generates far more than the initial investment. The final allocation is reserves and optionality. The top 1% keep between $1,000 and $1,500 as liquid reserves. This serves multiple purposes. First, it prevents you from having to go into debt when unexpected expenses arise. Second, it gives you capital to take advantage of opportunities when they appear. Wealth often comes to those who have cash available when others don't. That reserve capital allows you to move quickly. Now here's what's fascinating about the Heritage Rule. It's not about being restrictive or depriving yourself. It's about being intentional. Every dollar has a job. Every allocation serves a purpose in your wealth-building system. When you follow this framework, something shifts psychologically. You stop thinking about money as something to spend and start thinking about it as a tool to deploy strategically. The Heritage Rule works because it acknowledges that wealth isn't built in one moment. It's built through consistent, intelligent decision-making over time. Your first $10,000 matters not because it makes you rich immediately, but because it establishes patterns and systems that compound for decades. When you invest in education, you earn more. When you build business infrastructure, you capture more. When you invest strategically, you compound more. When you build relationships, you discover more opportunities. When you maintain reserves, you can move faster than competitors. This is how the top 1% actually operate. Not with flashy purchases, but with systematic wealth building from day one. If this framework resonates with you and you're ready to think about your money differently, please like this video and subscribe for more wealth building insights. The difference between financial struggle and generational wealth often comes down to frameworks like this, implemented when the stakes feel small, but compound into life-changing results.